And I would ask who Taylor was feeling like while he was in that villa, but I seen his brother. I fear that he thinks that he looks like his brother in a good way. No, you look like your brother if somebody put your brother in a copy machine and somehow it got jammed. You thought kicking Jeremiah, like Jeremiah, some real fine shit. You thought kicking him off the island was going to give you a chance to be with Andreina? You look like you snuck into the villa. You look like when you got there, producers went, we were catfished. And they had to meet a quota and stuck with you because they needed a cowboy. Please, let's not. No, because don't piss me off. Now that we've addressed that, let's get into how I feel about this Ace interview. Okay, first and foremost, I'm going to start this off with, I am actually still rooting for Ace. I don't like how he moved. I don't agree with this interview, but I am still rooting for him unless it just gets weirder. Then I have to get off the train. I don't know. I'm trying to do this thing where I give him grace. If he embarrasses me any further, forget I ever said that. You are entitled to your feelings. You are responsible for how and when you express your feelings. Ace may not have wanted or needed the clout, but he 100% did expect to come out the villa and be a fan favorite. He was expecting to be the next Cordell. He was expecting him and Shelly to be the next Cordina. It didn't happen for him. The closest we got to that was Nicolandria, and you know, he's not going to say that with his chest, but he absolutely does feel away. His ego was hurt by that, and that is okay. He has a chip on his shoulder. He's never going to say that part out loud. Pre-Villa, he was on a trajectory of being like America's sweetheart. We saw him on Jennifer Hudson. He does the cutesy little dance videos with everybody. He was lovable. Post-Villa, kind of the Love Island experience tarnished his image. I will say that the hate that he got was unwarranted. And we can blame production, edits, whatever. But post-Villa, how you are moving, that's no longer your conscience. That's all you. Okay, a lot of you have created your own narrative for why Ace is upset with Nick. He said out of his own mouth that the reason that he was upset was because he felt Nick did not speak on his character. Even though in every interview that I've seen, Nick speaks highly of Ace, he doesn't say anything that's disparaging to his character. He apparently had an issue with him being asked like about the Final Four, and Nick saying that he felt like everybody in the Final Four deserved to be there because that's who America voted for. He felt like that was a very PR answer. Well, here's a harsh truth for you, Ace. Post-Villa, whether you like it, agree with it or not, Nick and Olandria are a brand. So they probably will have PR answers because they have a brand to protect. Now, the other thing, his answer was not disparaging to your character. His answer did not assassinate your character or make you look bad. You decided to center yourself in that answer, and that is a you problem. His answer wasn't how you would answer it, and that is your problem. You disagree with people not doing things the way that you would do it. It doesn't mean that what they did was wrong. However, what I witnessed in this interview was exactly what you were blaming Nick for. You went on there and you insinuated that that man had a cold sore. That's gross of you. That's gross, and that speaks a lot to your character. It's giving bitter. You know good and well that man didn't have a cold sore. Taylor and Zach both explained that Charlie like headbutted him or some shit like that. Also, we all know you get screened before the show. So you saying that, trying to be cutesy or funny, that said a lot to me, because even if you fall out with a friend, if that friend never said anything like, never hit a low blow or said anything disparaging to your character, why would you go out there your way to try to humiliate them or tarnish their reputation? It's giving your ego is hurt because you left out that villa and you were no longer like the leader of the pack. You were no longer America's sweetheart. And no, you did not deserve the hate, but that is not Nick's fault. And my thing is, not only has Nick spoken highly of Ace in interviews, but he's also gone on to talk about how his father really liked Ace. Like, it's just an odd thing to see play out. Keep it on the playground. I don't want to hear about conscience. I don't want to hear about who's driving the steering wheel. You have been so adamant about standing on business and saying things with your chest and saying what you mean and being intentional with your words, and I'm standing 10 toes on this and that. If you can't say what really happened between Taylor and Alandria, keep it on the playground. I don't want to hear none of that. I'm calling bullshit. Taylor is a punk ass, and this is what I really think happened. I think you and Taylor, y'all have been like getting a little chummy and talking about everything post Villa, and y'all thought that, you know, the whole black love thing was going to work in y'all's favor, and everybody was going to be rooting for you guys, and you were going to be everybody's favorite. And you didn't realize that we wanted to see a black woman be loved correctly. Not to say I don't think you love Shelly correctly, but what Taylor did to Alandria and how he led her on was inexcusable. Because at the end of the day, if you're telling me that production had a hand in him leading her on and the both of you knew it, now I'm questioning the both of your integrity, and I'm going to question you saying you weren't there for clout, but you claim Alandria is your friend, right? And you were willing to stay in the villa knowing that production had a hand in Taylor leading Alandria on, rather than just going home if you know that goes against you being honest and true to yourself, knowing that that goes against your friend and him having integrity. Come on, like, don't all of a sudden be questionable now. You didn't need the clout. You and Taylor didn't need the prize. Y'all were just there for love. The both of you could have left if it meant that you were going to have to compromise your integrity. So please stop. I don't give a fuck about producers, your conscience, who was driving the car. You didn't need the car that bad. You got a car at home. That's where you could have went. And now the disingenuous concern about Nick possibly not being genuinely interested in Alandria. It's so funny to me because you just told us that you were okay with knowing that Taylor had no real interest in Alandria and him leading her on, knowing that that meant she could possibly be sent home, right? But this is your friend. You were okay with him possibly embarrassing her on national television, and you had no qualms with that, right? But all of a sudden, the most popular couple, now you want to speculate whether or not his intentions are real. And then let's go on to this conversation that you want to like lean on as your like big, you know, your big joker or whatever the hell. I don't play cards. I don't know. And let me get this right. You're referring to a conversation that you had in the villa where Nick said that there was no romantic spark, but he knew he was attracted to her. Sounds familiar. Sounds like we watched that conversation too. And it sounds like he also expressed that in multiple interviews. This is old news. Old news. Old tea is stale. It's giving hater. We also, after that, saw a couple of conversations between you two where Nick said that Alandria gave him the flutters. Did you forget that? Also, when he described them cuddling and how she backed onto him, and that was the first time he kind of felt something romantic for her, more than platonic. Did you forget those conversations? Did you forget that we see that? Did you know we were watching y'all? We were watching this. We were watching it. We can see you. If you felt like or thought you came off as a hater because of the Jeremiah situation, baby, the way that you come off now, my God, is giving bitter. It's giving bitter. Do I think you deserve the hate you got? Absolutely not. But you are spiraling and you are taking it out on somebody who genuinely thought that you were their friend. Imagine waking up thinking that somebody that was your friend, that has your phone number, that can call you, or you could have answered the phone, and they're in an interview trying to diminish your character, something that you had an issue with when you thought it was being done to you.